Ready?
Yep.
Okay. And we are live.
Hello, and welcome to QuaranCon2022 award ceremony. I am P.S. Livingstone and my beautiful co-host, Amanda Justice. Thanks for joining us. So first of all, we want to just say thank you so much for everybody who has entered our competitions, who's promoted them, and most of all, of course, we want to thank our judges, Damien Larkin, S.M. Hardy, who also writes as Sue Tindy, David Green, Hannah Williams, and Annabelle Campbell. You can find more about them in the description and their YouTube links, etc., below this video. Okay, Amanda, tell us a little bit about the short fiction contest.
Hang on, I got a little bit of an echo, so hopefully that will go away. The short fiction contest, it's our third year running the short fiction contest for QuaranCon. The top 3 entries will be published in the anthology, which I unfortunately don't have a copy of in my hands. I just realized just now I left it in the other room. So anyway,
we'll find that during our readings.
Yeah. So the first edition of the anthology came out this last year, and we strongly encourage everybody to get a copy. It's some great short stories in there. And
it's in our book sale, actually, I think.
It's in our book sale. Yes,
yep.
You can get your copy, and it's got a beautiful cover designed by our founder, Virginia McLean. And I am really excited about this year's winning entries, which we're going to be reading a little bit later. But to quickly go over what the judging criteria were for the short story contest, we judged the stories on writing quality, the basics, but also how readable it is, how enjoyable the prose is. Character development was another criterion. Story development and plot. How does the tension increase? How did our judges feel about the plot? The impact and the ending. This is a big thing for me because short stories are not anecdotes and they're not book chapters. A short story needs to stand alone, and it needs to tell a complete story and hopefully have a really strong ending. So an overall impression, that was the last criterion that our judges evaluated, and the each one was worth 50 points, and our top 3 scorers were all over 40 points. So we had some really strong stories in the top 3 this year. So we'll be getting shortly to those winners. And what's next, Pam?
Well, this year's theme was family.
Oh, yes.
As always, it's a broad theme. I mean, we're not holding people to it,
right?
Really rigidly, because family, as part of what has been discussed in our panels and things, can come in many different forms, and we're looking to explore all of that. So, although that was our theme for this year, I think people expressed it in a lot of different ways, and I think that was really positive, and just in all the ways that they did look at that and what it meant to them and what it meant to their characters.
Right.
And that was something that I found to be, really quite moving, was the differences that we had in that, while still having that overarching idea.
I agree, and I think another important criterion that we had is that everything had to be fit in within speculative fiction, because that is the theme of our con. So all of the stories took the theme of family and then put it into some sort of speculative fiction framework. And we had a wide variety of entries in terms of subgenres and so forth. But overall, it was really, really strong set of stories, and I can't wait.
Really high quality. I know, really
Brilliant.
high quality. I've been so impressed by what people have done, and to keep it under 2,500 words as well, because that is a short story. You know, and yet they did so much with so little.
Yes.
And I think that's a mark of some really very impressive writing. So thank you to all of our submissions, because really there wasn't a bad one in the bunch. There just wasn't. So
It really wasn't.
you know.
Yeah, and I think that it is. I also want to say I think the stories, you know, each year we're getting better and better. So just as you would hope a contest would achieve. So congratulations to the top 3, which we'll be announcing very shortly. And thank you very much to everybody who entered. And hopefully, you know, everyone will continue to participate in this contest, and it will just grow and get better and better.
Yeah, sorry, I just thought of an idea. I'm trying to find a drum roll on my phone.
Oh, yes, we should.
Sorry, bear with me, everybody. Oh, I have an actual drum roll.
Oh, that was an actual drum roll. Come on.
No, you didn't have actual drums. You lie.
It kind of has a bongo sound, though.
I suppose, right. Okay, hang on. I think I've got it. Right.
Okay.
No side seat presenting you. Sorry. My partner just like, I've got one. It's like waving his phone at me. Don't know if you heard that. Okay, so we had 15 short stories this year. We are going to do them in reverse order. So our second runner-up, first runner-up, and our winner. So our second runner-up was Saya by Pat Blake. Congratulations.
Congratulations. The the second place story, or first runner-up, was Demon Bonded by Jean M. Levasseur, and I hope I haven't murdered that name too badly. So
yes. And our winner, no, okay, I've had a total drum roll fail. Amanda, help, quick, do it. Oh,
the winner is.
hey. Okay, I feel like that was a total letdown. I apologize for ruining the moment.
I'm trying. You can't.
No, you did. It was me. I totally messed it up.
Oh.
Okay, was Show Me Your Resume by J.W. Allen. So
All right.
Congratulations, J.W. And Amanda is now going to read in beautiful style your winning entry. Congratulations. I'm going to disappear for a second to give Amanda and your story our full attention. Amanda.
I am not British, as you can probably tell, but this story is set in Britain, and Pam and I agreed that I will do my best to imitate Meryl Streep and her British accent, because I want to give some of the flavor of this story a little bit better. So here we go. Like most of us, red hair just wanted a job, needed a job. Instead, hunters grabbed her out of the queue right in front of me. She screamed, desperately trying to plead her case as they dragged her away. We all watched, averting our eyes as she begged for help. I had not been rejected yet. Whether or not I would get a job before time ran out, well, that wasn't up to me. It was up to the application managers, shielded behind 3 inches of reinforced glass. I stepped forward, nervously taking the reject's place. The hall was noisy, making it difficult to hear what the applications manager was saying. Sorry, I cupped my ear to the tinny speaker. I didn't quite catch that. I said, how long have you been unemployed, Miss Alibi? 10 days. That was a lie, but a lie was better than a bullet to the back of the head. The applications manager looked at me above her spectacles. I smiled, shifting uneasily from one foot to the other. Last place of employment? Her Majesty's Police Service, Hertfordshire Constabulary. Sounded glamorous, but my unit had been one of the few to survive an encounter with Northern troops. Didn't stop the government from disbanding our force and throwing us all onto the scrap heap. No notice, no benefits. I had no idea what had happened to others in my unit. My guess was that they were in one of those lines somewhere, queuing, hoping. The government has no need for police at this time, the woman said robotically. I swallowed and thought about my sister at home, my niece sitting in front of her cartoons, both of them hoping, praying that I could get a job, any job, before the hunters came knocking on our front door. I looked around desperately. Hope and fear smogged the air. I have transferable skills, I stammered, turning back to face the applications manager. She was middle-aged with graying hair and a government pin, one of thousands who, until a few years ago, I would have dismissed as relics from a nastier slice of history. Then an election. Then the divide between North and South, the riots, death, and blame for everyone on anyone poor or Black. Now, here we all were in this hall with little old bigots enthroned as queens, gatekeepers that reveled in power over the lives of others. I plastered the nicest smile I can imagine on my face. I'm a capable administrator, investigator, and communicator. You only have to look at my qualifications to see the skills that I bring. I appreciate that, young lady, but if there aren't positions to match, then there's nothing I can do. Try again tomorrow. You still have 3 days before you're marked unemployable. Use the time to give your resume the once-over. I could arrange an appointment with one of our advisors. She looked down at her computer for a moment before her brow wrinkled. Oh, I'm afraid there are no slots available until next week. I'm terribly sorry. There's nothing I can do. Unless, of course. Her voice drifted, and I followed her gaze toward a pair of job hunters patrolling the applicant queues, faces stone-like under their helmets, hands hovering near their pistol grips, ready to further reduce the unemployment figures. What do I need to do? I sighed. They rushed me through basic training. Being a former police officer had to count for something. And in less than 2 days, I was sent out on patrol in the job hall. I was more deterrence than force. Weeks passed without me having to draw my pistol. The shifts were 14 hours long, but I was allowed a comfort break every 5th hour, so it could have been worse. The job hall was large and drafty, but it had the benefit of a spherical layout, easy to patrol. Queues of job applicants lined the hall like the numbers on a clock, and the captain of the hall assigned each queue a number. You always knew where to head if there was a problem. Altercation at 5 o'clock. Alibi, you got it? Drunk woman at 1. All yours, alibi. I got used to being called on first. Came with the skin. Made the people in the queues hate me even more when I arrived to defuse a fight. Black applicants saw me as a traitor. White applicants looked at me in disgust, affronted that I could serve as a hunter, but they couldn't. I ignored it all. A job was a job, and with government targets to purge the unemployed, I was lucky to have one. Besides, if keeping this job kept the other hunters from knocking on our door, so be it. My sister and niece didn't know I was working as a hunter. Shannara would have been furious, and Neka was 6. No, it was easier to pretend I was working in sanitation, though Shannara wasn't exactly happy with that story. 1 in 4 workers don't survive their first shift, which gives me 3 chances of survival, I joked back. Shannara was not amused. When I came home following my first shift as a sanitation operative, she turned her back and stomped off into the kitchen, muttering how we should have moved north and how I was no good to any of us if I caught something and died. Her jibe stung. After all, wasn't I the one going out and earning a living? Wasn't I the one keeping hunters from our door? I almost asked why she didn't go out and get another job herself, but I couldn't. My life was bad enough. But Shannara's right to work status was being held in limbo. Every day we lived in fear of her being led away, of hearing the crack of a pistol being discharged. So I kept quiet. Let Shannara fume and worry over me in the same way that I worried over her and Neka. My job was keeping us alive. The captain sat behind his desk, rapping gnarled fingers against a brown folder. Alibi, I'm impressed with your work so far. Just doing my job, sir. The captain nodded, a smile skittering around the corners of his mouth before vanishing. That's why I've decided you're the best person to carry out this assignment. Assignment, sir? Yes. He leaned back, the chair creaking under his weight. People have been making job applications to the north. Terrible, sir. I'm glad you agree. Whilst our strategy for dealing with unemployment has been criticized internationally, understatement of the century, I thought, remembering red hair being dragged off, there is no doubt it has been a resounding success for this government. Yes, sir. Unemployment at record lows. Yes, sir. Nevertheless, there are still rebellious elements who think a life in the North is preferable to life here. He pushed the folder across the desk with one veiny finger. This is a list of people who have been applying for jobs up north. Section 8 of Her Majesty's Criminal Code makes it illegal for anyone to apply for jobs outside of the South without authorization from the DWP, I finished. The captain beamed. So nice to have hunters who know the law. Once you've rejected these people, we can have a talk about your career prospects. Thank you, sir. Back in the hall, I opened the folder and walked into an applicant as I read a name at the top of the list. My ears began to ring. My throat dried and I tried to swallow the panic away. Shannara was third on the reject list. I didn't notice the person I'd nearly knocked over trying to get my attention. Sorry, I mumbled, patting them on the shoulder before moving away. Billy? I looked up to see my sister staring back at me. What are you doing here? We both hissed at the same time. I'm applying for a job, Shannara whispered. You don't have permission. I'll try anything if it means my sister doesn't have to work in the sewers. She looked at my uniform, her face dropping. Except you're not in the sewers. I grabbed her arm and frog marched her out of the queue. What are you doing? Saving your life, I hissed, pushing her through the doors marked private. Stop, Billy, please, just let me go. I can look after myself. Everything will be fine. Just let me go. Go back to work and we can talk when you get off shift. I ignored her, pulling her behind me as I peered around the next corner. The corridor was dimly lit, every second light off, energy cutbacks, but it was mercifully empty. Stay close. There's a fire exit at the end of the corridor. It leads to the applicant overflow pens. You can get lost in the crowds and sneak away before another hunter sees you and decides to check your right to work status. Please, Shannara moaned as I dragged her along by the hand. Go back to work. It'll be fine. We skidded to a halt as a door opened to our left. A hunter emerged, but before he could raise his pistol, I shouldered him into the wall and jammed my elbow into his neck. He collapsed instantly. I swung around to grab Shannara's hand and froze. Another hunter had emerged from an open door behind us and had a pistol raised and pointed directly at my sister's head. Don't try anything, he growled as two more hunters followed through the door and circled around us. They drew their weapons, covering us evenly. A second later, the captain emerged from behind them, tutting loudly. You know, some of the boys had a book open on whether you'd take the bait, Alibi. I'm out 23 days worth of whiskey rations now. Then again, I have been trying to drop a few pounds. Life is funny. Okay, Rook, best get this over with. At first, I thought he was nodding to another hunter, but as I readied myself to go out, protecting my sister, Shannara darted forward and nimbly removed the gun from my holster before pointing it at my face. What? I gasped, looking between her and the captain. Yes, his voice ambled. And you, a former police officer. I would have expected more investigative prowess, not to mention reflexes. Sorry, Shannara said, lower lip trembling. They contacted me last month, said they knew I was trying to go north, threatened Neke if I didn't do what they said. And a fine job she's done, too. Can't have hunters bending rules just because they're related to a reject. A hunter must remain impartial. You've failed that test, but your sister has a bright future with this department. Her daughter, too. We always need people willing to do whatever it takes to reduce the unemployment figures. A pity you can't understand that, Alibi. The captain nodded at Shannara. I turned to face my sister, hoping to see something of the sorrow I felt reflected back. I wanted to tell her how it was all for her and Neke. I wanted to tell her that she was right, that we should have fled north after the election. I wanted to tell her lots of things. Holding her gaze, I reached out a hand, hoping. My fingers brushed the muzzle of the gun when I heard the shot. All we wanted was a job. And that is that. So that was, I think, pretty amazing story. I loved the ending because I honestly didn't see that particular twist coming. So
yep.
Congratulations to J.W. Allen for that terrific story.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a total twist, wasn't it? And it just kind of almost right at the end as well. There was just so much world building in this sort of earlier part of it, and the kind of, well, I suppose maybe closer to home than we would like in aspects of that. You know, it shouldn't lie. It's just kind of like, you know, doesn't seem too, you know, outlandish at all. But yeah, just quite cutting really at the end there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations again to J.W. Allen. All three of our winners today will go in our anthology, which will be published every 2 years. So I'm afraid you do have to wait a little while to see it in print, but you will be joined hopefully next year by 3 fabulous more authors. All of the 3 winners get book bundles. We'll contact you for details in terms of whether you want ebooks. We have some physical books that we can send to you. And the winner also gets a free 10,000 word edit, which is from myself. So I will contact you with whatever style of edit, copyediting, developmental edit, proofreading, for whatever piece you want, and we'll sort that out. So well done to everybody again. Okay, next on our agenda is the Best Worst Lines contest. This is where we move swiftly into the ridiculous.
Transition. Everyone take a deep breath after that. Jeez.
Yes. We're going to soothe you with an awful lot of nonsense right now. That disembodied voice is Virginia, by the way, in case anybody's
Hi,
wondering.
everyone. I'm really just here doing tech, but I have to make a video play in a second, so I thought I'd say hi.
Yeah, we uploaded her to the cloud. That's where she wanted to be. It made her happy.
Put me with my spreadsheets.
Yeah, they're happy together forevermore. It's really just it's quite emotional actually, but we're not wanting to be emotional, we're wanting to be ridiculous. So right. As if uploading Virginia was not ridiculous, but anyway. Okay, so Best Worst Lines, it pretty much says exactly what it sounds like, in that it's terrible opening lines, similar to the Bulwer-Lytton contest, the whole dark and stormy night famous line that Snoopy loved so much. And we've asked people to include their own. So we are now going to read our top 3.
Can I interject?
You can.
Because I was explaining this contest to my family last night, and I just want to make it clear that these are deliberately written to be bad. So these are not like we ask people to send in their first lines of novels and we picked the worst one to be mean. We deliberately ask people to come up with the worst lines that they could possibly think of on purpose as a joke. So the whole point is to be funny and silly and to make something, in the words of Leonard Pimth-Garnell from Saturday Night Live in the 1970s, who was the host of Bad Theater, delightfully bad.
So bad it's good. Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I mean, it does take some skill to write this badly or to write this ridiculously. I mean, anybody could just write something silly or, you know, a bit rubbish, but actually the kind of skill that kind of goes into, forming all of this into an idea is actually very skillful. So although we're saying it's the best worst line, I would say that, and I know from actually who submitted how good these writers actually are, and how great their books are. So, I know that the talent it takes to come across as this awful. It was like the whole Morecambe and Wise. Is it Eric Morecambe that used to play the piano? I think it was, and the whole classic Andre Previn sketch where he's playing it and it's ridiculous and it's all out of order. And he's like, no, you're playing the wrong notes. And he's like, no, I'm playing the right notes, just not necessarily in the correct order. And he was a world-class pianist, but he would go on, or Wayne Sleep, with his dancing, he'd go on and do the ridiculous. But because he was so good, he could make it look like that. So I think there's a lot of analogies to be drawn with those, and the skill it takes to come across as ridiculous is a talent. Okay, so Amanda, would you like to read our number 3, please?
Yes. This entry was submitted by someone calling themselves Swordson. So,
sorry.
And when we put up the spelling, I think you'll probably all know who that is.
All right. The knightess's breasts, still perky despite her turning 20 recently, waved in the wind as she pulled at the bowstring, which was not the same as the strings she was wearing under her armor, as she fired the arrow, noticing with great satisfaction that her bum-bums, still as firm as the day before she turned 20 recently, were still capable of tensing with tension strongly enough to fire an arrow, even though firing an arrow was an anachronism. But in fantasy books, you can write whatever you want. This is a hint for lesser authors than I. You are welcome. Anyway, the target was duly hit, and she ejaculated a groan of victory.
So many things wrong with that.
In the right way.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, intentionally as bad as it could be.
Yeah, very much. Our number 2, or our first runner-up entry, is by C.M. Kaplan, who was not going to enter this contest, I believe, and then was like, oh, I'll have a go. And if to be believed, came up with this in a matter of seconds. So that shows a lot of talent. Sword raised high, Taggart closed his other, more gauntleted hand around my throat. Fuck, sorry, throat. Listen, my backspace key is broken and I can't figure out how to delete anything. Are you ducking kidding me? I swear, go God. Jesus Christ. Anyway, just sit tight and we'll get through this together.
I love that one. I did not know that was from Connor. That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. And our winner, I'm going to do the drum roll, but I'm just going to use my hands. Okay.
Oh wait, I got to bring in am I bringing in the video for this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And our winner.
Wait.
Go Goats.
Okay, hang on. Goats incoming.
Okay, here we go. Summer came early, which is a great thing if you're referring to the artful act of intercourse. But in this case, summer was what they called all 6'7" of Johnny Summer No Lips and his twin fists, Henry Kissinger and Richard Nixon. And unfortunately for me, while he was waiting at the bus stop, rammed between an adult bookstore and a hamburger joint called Nice to Meet You at 7th and Pine, he decided I was a punching bag in the way soup is a beverage, and not the good soup, but the kind in the cheap tin cans from the dollar store, half rusted and dented like my head was about to be, a rotten mug. And that winning entry, currently being consumed by goats, was by Clayton Snyder.
Congratulations, Clayton.
Amazing. That one I guessed was actually Clayton because that had Clayton written all over it.
It does. And also, I think he was first runner-up last year. And I also think that entry had something to do with soup.
It did. There was, and it was another violent entry involving soup. So
I think, you know, I don't know, Clayton, what happened between you and soup, but you know, I feel like it's influenced your writing a lot. And I mean, it was I hope it wasn't too traumatic experience, but I suppose the good thing you can take from that is that it has brought you to the lofty heights of the best worst line contest, first runner up, and now our winner. So there's every cloud has a silver lining. And
I wanted to point out, I'm not sure if you can see from the video, but Clayton's entry was so long. We have a 200-word limit on the best worst lines. Clayton's entry came close to that, I think, and it was so long that that our friends at Cronkshaw Farms, which we should give them a plug, Cronkshaw Farms, provided.
And you can find their link in the description as well. They're there.
They couldn't fit Clayton's entire entry onto the piece of paper, so it fell off at the end. But anyway,
but the goats got an extra big snack, so that was also nice.
They did. What should we? I was going to show what.
Yes, so the winner gets.
You have share abilities now.
Okay.
So our winners get, again, some book bundles. We'll be in contact with you about that. Clayton, I will be in touch to get your address to send you what you won, which really is. It's so beautiful.
Shoot. Oh no, you know what? I'm still having this problem with my computer. I'm sorry. We should have sorted that.
You told me you'd fix that.
I know, and I'm sorry.
Who else has a golden turd trophy picture?
Okay, hang on. I'm getting one.
Oh.
And in the meantime, I will just say that I think my favorite thing about this award, not like both the Golden Turd Trophy and just our award ceremony here, and this is all thanks to Amanda's brilliance. I don't even know where you found the goats eating the best worst line, but is that the best worst line therefore ultimately ends up as goat poop. And what could be more appropriate? Sorry, Pam.
Sorry.
Spit take.
I shouldn't have drunk there. It was a mistake.
Virginia, that's brilliant. I never even thought of that. But
what? Oh my God! I thought that was the whole point.
No, we were accidentally ahead of ourselves.
I always thought the consumption part was funny, but you know, I never really thought about the whole alimentary canal.
We have
I bet those goats poop golden turds as a result.
Could be, Pam. I wasn't trying to distract you from finding that image, though. Did you find it?
No, I did find it.
Okay, you should be able to share.
Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yeah! Oh,
okay, so your name will go on that
quid. What? That's brilliant.
And I will send that to you as soon as possible.
Amazing. 10 quid plus, like, it's got to be at least like double that in shipping.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, it's totally worth it. And I want, and Clayton, if at all possible, I'd like to see a photo of where you place that in your house so that everybody coming in can appreciate it.
Yeah, pride of place.
Absolutely.
Better have it.
Okay,
right,
so Virginia's dinging this again. Okay, so that is our contests for 2022. Congratulations again to all of our winners. Your prizes, your books, your edits, your turds will... I feel bad saying your turds in the post. I mean, that's not what anybody wants to hear, is it? Anyway, so thank you very much to everybody. Thank you so much again to our judges. I'm getting a bit of feedback here. Is everyone else hearing that?
Yeah, I'm getting a weird feedback too.
Okay, I don't know why that's happening. Okay, moving on anyway. So thank you so much again.
The whole thing, our audio problems, and I
blame your computer. But thank you so much to all our judges. Thank you so much to Amanda for organising the short fiction, for communicating throughout what was happening. She's done a brilliant job. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for all our entrants. Thank you everybody to watch. Just to let you know that there is obviously more QuaranCon to come. We have a full day of programming today and tomorrow. Upcoming events are Writing Rules, Mythological Creature Feature, underappreciated genres, swearing in SFF, neurodiversity, plus lots of readings and a workshop on plotting tools for sharp first drafts with Krithika H. Rao. So that's today. You can find all of it on Twitter. Amanda, we should also tell them about what else? Book sale. Remind them.
Yeah, don't forget the book sale. Lots of really terrific authors have their books on sale for 99 cents or free. And it's a great chance to get a lot of terrific science fiction and fantasy titles that are available right now, and hopefully learn about some new folks and find some new favorite authors that everybody should get. And also, I want to, while we're here, I just want to point out.
Right.
Oh, there you.
I was supposed to find that while you were talking, but I was too busy listening to the story and I forgot. And your beautiful Meryl Streep. So Pam is holding up the anthology from the first 2 years of QuaranCon with our short story winners. So there are 6 stories in there, and they're all really, really terrific. So I think that it's worthwhile. You should get that book. Is also part of the book sale, and it's only 99 cents, and it's a great quick read because all the stories are quite short. We actually lengthened the entry requirements this year. In previous years, the word count was even smaller. So it will provide a quick read on the train if you commute on a train, or something for the beach to entertain. Exactly, yeah. And they're all really different, but all wonderful. So it's a lot of flavor. Anyway, this echo apparently is getting worse, so I think we should run away.
Okay.
So please check out the book sale, check out all our events today. And if you've enjoyed QuaranCon, and even if you haven't, just, consider buying us a coffee or coffee. I'm not quite sure how that wants to be pronounced, but it's a way that you can thank us and help us cover the costs of the con, which are paid by those of us who organise it, so that we can keep it 100% free for everybody else. So we'd appreciate that if you can, but it's also fine if you can't, but feel free to retweet us and say thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Look forward to the rest of today, and congratulations again to everybody.
How many seconds is that going for?
I don't know.
All right, everyone wave, because I think we're going to end on that. Bye, everybody.